And now, after some surprisingly intense fighting, it's time to take down the boss, Macbeth, whose name is a very obvious Shakespeare reference. Now anyway, about this guy, he's another general, which means Great Shield again. But the real interesting thing is, he has pretty high defense, but not just that. He has this item called a Shield Ring, which gives him +5 defense as well, which basically takes his defense up to insane levels. That, combined with the natural healing bosses get by being on a castle, not only is this guy the best boss for boss abuse, he practically encourages you to boss abuse. And, you know, I'll admit it, I actually did boss abuse this guy a bit. I'm not going to include this all in the video, most of this was off camera, but basically what I did was, let Lachesis heal a lot, and, yeah, you can see the high defense there. Basically, I let Lachesis heal a lot, and, basically, it's trying to get Beowulf and Finn up to the level of the rest of the group, particularly Beowulf. Also got a bit of experience from Midale and Aesir. Sigurd doesn't really need experience from this guy. Levin sort of does, but right now he's starting to overtake Sylvia. Just getting him that little extra boost every turn. I'm pretty sure they have to end their turn next to each other in order to get love points, so yeah, trying to keep him away. Also, as opposed to the previous general boss, who had a sword and a bow, yeah, Macbeth is armed basically just with lances. I think he's got a steel lance and a javelin. Those mercenaries were pretty crap, with the exception of Volts. Yeah, you'll need to watch out. This guy's actually pretty powerful. And of course, you can't take cheap shots at him with ranged weapons because of that javelin. Of course, the very long time it will take for you to get rid of this guy gives you enough time to try and reposition a few of the characters further down. You'll need to backtrack a bit because the next castle is closer to Noiden, which means that Warp Staff is going to come in handy. Although make sure you have at least one use left in either a Warp Staff or a Turn Staff. Damn you, Great Shield. Yeah, as I was saying, you'll need to use either a Warp or a Turn Staff just after you capture this castle. It's a rather special event, and yeah, I'll explain that when it happens. As usual, we'll need to heal anyone who suffers damage from this boss. And of course, this is going to help Lachesis because she'll be gaining experience with every heal, and she really, really needs it. Yeah, and he's just healed off all the damage he took last turn. So now, he can proceed to attack Finn. Finn can go and hit him again, and gain more experience. Basically, I just repeat this cycle for a fair amount of turns. That was a pretty good level up. Until Finn and Beowulf are up to strength with the rest of the team. The only side effect of this is that, basically because of this, this chapter went over the 50 turn mark. Yeah, something I should mention is that, love point growth, from just being there and standing next to each other, that kind of love growth stops after the 50th turn. Which is pretty fair, because it stops you from, like, just waiting 200 turns and getting all the pairings you want. Kind of like how they put a limit on support conversations in the later games. Although apparently that didn't exist in Fire Emblem 7. I don't know, but... Also, it's not going to, if you go over the 50 turn limit though, conversations still yield love points. So you never need to worry about that. But particularly, there are a couple of conversations after this. Well, actually... Well, technically there is a couple, but there's one that you want to avoid at all costs. Anyway. Yeah, this guy's going to take ages to take down, so you might as well just abuse him for a bit of experience. Well, Levin's almost there. And Sylvia. Once Sylvia gets there, she'll be a big help because, like I said before, her dancing affects all characters adjacent to her, which means that if you position your people cleverly, you can make it so that you can get multiple attacks on this boss in one turn, or have Lachesis and other people heal several people in one turn, which is particularly good for that. The problem I find with Sylvia is that, yeah, you don't want to leave her exposed to any direct damage, because, yeah, her defense is pathetic, and even if you're not planning on pairing her, you don't want her to die, because you really don't want to lose that dancer advantage. I'm still confused as to why he didn't go for Azel, but... Ooh. Yeah, I'm just trying to repeat this with Beowulf a bit. Particularly because Beowulf doesn't have particularly good swords at this point. Actually, he's just about stuck with that steel sword until he promotes. Which is interesting, that's actually something I haven't discussed at all yet. In this game, weapon ranks never increase on their own. Basically, every class has their own fixed ranking on each type of weapon. So, for example, Lance Knights, like Finn, have an automatic B in Lances. And so, yeah, there are only two ways you can increase a character's weapon rank. The first one is by promoting them. So, for example, when Finn upgrades into a Duke Knight, he gains an A rank in Lances, and so will be able to use a Silver Lance. The second way to increase a character's weapon rank is via Holy Blood bonuses. Oh, I'm going to stop for a minute, because this is a very good conversation. I love this conversation so much. Levin is just awesome. I take it to the Sigurd guy. Yeah, this is actually one of my favourite conversations in the game. Levin is just the most awesome character ever. Anyway, like I was saying, basically, Holy Blood boosts a character's rank in the weapon their Crusader specialises in. So, for example, Odo Blood raises sword rank. Yeah, essentially, Minor Blood raises the ranking by 1 level, and Major Blood automatically raises it to the maximum level and enables the character to use the corresponding legendary weapon if they have access, because some characters technically can use the legendary weapon, but they actually can't obtain it without hacking, really. Yeah, getting back to what I was saying before, basically, that means that Beowulf is pretty much stuck with steel swords until he promotes. And more boss abusing time.